Welcome to another episode of Spec Dave, where today I've got a very special video for you. You see, I just found out from Mike Gilbert, who you may remember from one of my Your EV Journey videos, where he's got an F-150 Lightning. And he said, Dave, there's a plane, an electric plane flying from Hartford all the way down to Easton, Pennsylvania, and it's stopping in Danbury. And actually, I'm gonna help them charge the plane with my truck. I was like, are you kidding me? So I said, when is this happening? So it was supposed to happen yesterday. There was a little bit of a rain delay, so they pushed it to today. It's Sunday, November 13th, and the goal of this plane flight is the plane is up in Hartford, Connecticut, and they need to get it down to Easton, Pennsylvania, because there's a student from Lafayette College in Easton, Pennsylvania. His name is Remy Oktay, and his goal is, he's an engineering student there, and his goal, along with a lot of other people's goal, is to fly the plane down to Easton, Pennsylvania. Why? Because they want to do a flyover at next week's Lafayette Lehigh football game to kind of bring awareness to what's going on with electrification in this world, not just in cars, but also with planes. And so here we have the convergence of a plane being charged by an F-150 40 minutes from my house. I'm like, I'm there, I gotta go. So take a drive with me up to Danbury, Connecticut right now to the airport, because we're gonna be meeting up with the whole team and hopefully get some interviews with not only Remy, but also maybe some of the flight crew and some of the people who are supporting this effort. Because I'll tell you what, this is, I feel like we're pioneers going on here. It's not just electric cars anymore. Planes? Are you kidding me? Let's do this. Before we get up to Danbury, I thought I would share at least what I know about this project. So like I mentioned, this is a student from Lafayette College who, I guess his granddad was a pilot. And he and his sister both got pilot licenses, maybe in honor of him or maybe because of his energy. And they've been taking lessons and flying. And he's an engineering student up there, or out there, I should say, in Easton, Pennsylvania. The challenge to get this plane from Hartford down to Easton is it requires a shuttle. You know, you got to get someone to fly it down there so that so they can do the flyover at the football game. I love that. What a cool event this is. One of the challenges, I guess the FAA says, for electric planes is that you have to be able to land and plan out your route so that you've got at least 30 minutes of charge as a buffer. Okay, so none of this out of spec style stuff where you're pulling into an airport with 1% state of charge. If you run out of charge with a Tesla or any kind of electric car, they're not good, but you're not gonna die, right? You're not gonna crash to the ground. But what's interesting is they've mapped out this flight plan to get the plane from Hartford down to Easton, and they're gonna stop in Danbury, Connecticut. I think their first stop was, I'm pretty sure they left Hartford this morning. It's kind of a rainy day, it's too bad. But they gotta get the plane down there. And, you know, so I think they pulled into Waterbury, and the team from Lafayette College actually tweeted out that they were running a little bit of a half-hour delay. You know, they were supposed to land at 8:30 a.m. In Danbury, and you know, communicative. They're running this thing, from what I could tell, really well. And I got the tweet that they're running a half-hour behind, which allowed me to maybe stop and get a little Dunkin' Donuts. And I texted over to Mike Gilbert, who I'm going to meet up there. So Mike is actually going to be driving up there today to meet the team and the crew, because he volunteered his F-150 as a support vehicle to be able to charge the plane. Now, my understanding is he's not charging the plane today. He's going to be charging the plane on the way back from Pennsylvania. So look, he wants to go up there, meet the people, get to know the drill. They can get to know him. So I don't know what other F-150 is going to be driving up there today to help them, you know, manage this flight. But the thing is that the infrastructure at the Danbury airport or the Waterbury airport, it just did not allow for charging of the plane in any kind of fast manner. So how creative of this student, from what I read, maybe it wasn't his idea, but collectively, the team from Lafayette, they came up with this idea that you can actually do vehicle to load, and load doesn't have to be your house if the power goes out. Load doesn't have to be the little dog in the Kia EV6 commercial when he actually runs out of juice, the little robot dog. It can be a plane. And I just love the creative energy that's going on. This is the spirit of ingenuity that has actually made humanity, get to where we are today. So we're taking an electric plane, converging that technology with an F-150 Lightning, and we're going to power that plane up and send it on its way. Look at that, Rivian in Scott's Corners. He's out there. What is he doing? He's having his breakfast at the coffee place here, the kitchen table. Oh man, I wish I had more time. I'd stop in there and have a cup of coffee with him. But yeah, so what's great about this project, not only is it right here in my backyard, but the fact that they're actually using this the Ford F-150s to power the plane, so they can hop down to Pennsylvania and then do this flyover. I was like, this is great. So Mike Gilbert, who you may remember from the Your EV Journey video with his F-150, this is the traveling salesman that drives over 300 miles a day in his F-150. He called me up and said, hey Dave, do you know about this effort that's going on with this plane that they're trying to set a world record? I said, I don't know, what are you talking about, an electric plane? I don't know anything about that. He goes, oh yeah, there's this kid from, and I don't mean to say kid, I mean this gentleman, this college student who is at Lafayette College in Easton, Pennsylvania, and what he is looking to do is to take this plane from Hartford, Connecticut. I don't know why the plane's in Hartford, Connecticut. It's an electric plane made in Slovenia, I think. I have to learn more about it. And the idea is to start, he's got to commute. He's got to get it down to Hartford, or from Hartford down to Easton, Pennsylvania, so they can do the flyover at the football game. I mean, this is beautiful, right? The plane, from what I've learned, has about an hour and a half of runtime. And so what they're only able to do is have flight time of approximately an hour. And so they had to map out the flight from Hartford to Easton. And my understanding is they took off this morning, a little bit of a rain delay. They took off this morning from Hartford, landed in Waterbury. I saw their tweet that they landed there, and they were very communicative, and they tweeted out that they're running a half hour behind because of a slight rain delay, which is great, which allows me to stop and get my Dunkin' Donuts. Well, I already have my coffee from home, so I got to get a real Dunkin' Donut. Probably shouldn't do that, but in any event. And so from Waterbury, they will take off, and then they're going to land here in Danbury. And the goal is that they're going to, well, what they're going to do is charge up with using an F-150 in the vehicle to load. In this case, vehicle to plane, V2P. I mean, we got a lot of acronyms going on in this today, I'm sure, and there's a lot more that I want to learn. Very interesting project that they are using these two technologies, really very much state-of-the-art technologies that are coming to market as we're living here and learning and watching all that's happening with the electrification of vehicles, and not just cars, obviously, it's planes as well. And I really haven't kept my eye on the advancements of airplanes and electric. I don't know why, but it just seems like it seems like a little bit of a natural thing. I mean, planes land and they sit at the terminals. You can put high-speed charging. I'm talking about from a commercial standpoint. I see the viability of this as long as the batteries can outlast the trip and leave enough buffer for safety. So I think this is happening, folks, here. Battery technology definitely needs to advance. The plane, from what I understand, is just a two-seater, but look, as technology and battery technology increases, these things can become viable. And what we need is creative ingenuity to be able to push the envelope of technology using the existing technology, not just dream it up. Like, you know, Leonardo da Vinci invented the helicopter. My understanding is they're going to have a little Cessna and a helicopter and a film crew going along with this. So there's some funding behind this effort, including Ford Motor Company tweet out about this, but also Jim Farley himself, the CEO. And so there are a number of other sponsors that have helped put this project together. So I just love the ingenuity, how everything's coming together here. I'm really curious to find out about the people behind this project, why they're doing it. I mean, I think that, you know, a lot of it is just pushing the envelope and trying to push technology with its current state of existing capabilities to see what you can do, and that's great. And I know there's been quite a few attempts out in California or over in Europe to try and set records. We're probably going to see multiple records being set here with the field of aviation and electrification being converged. Of course, because the technology is increasing and everything is getting, you know, the batteries and the chemistries are going to be able to give people and companies longer durations to, you know, to be able to fly further and farther. Is it farther or further? Whichever. And, you know, so look, I'm excited to find out as much as I can today about this project. There's a human side to this, which I'm going to cover here on the Out of Spec Dave channel. And then there's a technical side to this, which I am going to send, I'm going to film a separate video about this on the reviews side of things, which is more the technical side. How are they actually charging? That's really what I want to find out about is, you know, the F-150, how much does it put out? What's the capability? Why are they using one plug versus another plug? Did they have to modify the plane in order to take the energy this way because of the limited capabilities of, not limited capabilities of what, but what the Ford truck can actually put out versus what the plane can take? All that stuff you'll find up on Out of Spec Reviews. But I want to talk to the people behind this today. Not only the pilot, but the crew. I want to find out why they're doing this, what their motivation is, their level of excitement. I don't know. I get excited. I almost feel like, imagine back when the Wright brothers, the two bicycle shop owners, actually, you know, did the first flight down in Kitty Hawk in North Carolina. Now I know this is a far stretch from that, but you know, there's a lot of pioneers out there in today's day and age, and this one's a visual thing. There's a lot of technology advances in healthcare you can't see, right? It's chemistry and things like that. But this is something I can drive up to Danbury. I can see the plane land. Hopefully I get there in time. I'm definitely going to see the plane take off and learn about it. You can touch, you can feel it, you can see what's going on with this. So anyway, let's go to Danbury Airport in Danbury, Connecticut and check this out.
There he is.
All right, here he comes. Look at this. Check it out, folks. He's coming in. All right. We have touchdown. What an amazing thing. All right, so here we are. He's made it to Danbury Airport. Let's see what happens here. Oh, wow. So this helicopter is with the crew doing photography. And there's another chase plane. I believe I read it was a Cessna. But look at this thing coming in.
I wonder if the batteries are
Very possibly. Really can't beat the amount of energy.
Well, you can, but it takes your ring.
Yes. Yes. So that's good. Anything on the dashboard? This is waterproof. Sorry. Okay. Plugged in?
Looks like they've got it hooked up. How cool is this? Vehicle to plane. Great use case here. Oh, there's the Charger. Is that just a J1772? What is that thing? We're gonna have to figure it out. All the technical details. Beautiful. So I guess this is Remy's family's plane that's doing some filming and carting the people back, and then they've got the helicopter as the film crew. The F-150 Lightning with the giant battery pack that is charging the plane, and we've got here comes Remy himself, the man, the legend.
So do people want to see the charging setup? We'll go groups of like 3 or 4.
No, this is a climate initiative.
Okay, let's all go.
All right.
Yes. Yeah. Good. How you guys doing? Good. So we'll do a quick walkthrough. If people want to come. Listen. So thank you all for coming out. Yeah, I know it's rainy and cold, but
Neither the week. It's a day, mates.
yeah. And it's funny too, because as you know, we were originally planned for Saturday, and then I was like, oh, the weather's gonna be crappy on Saturday, it's gonna be sunny on Sunday, and then it turned out to be the exact opposite of that. But it's good enough for flying, so we're continuing onward. Zach, is that everybody? Okay, just because I was gonna do a chat, show people the charging infrastructure. So, F-150 Lightning, this is Patrick's. I don't know where Patrick's, right over there. So this is his truck. One of 4 Lightning owners who are convoying with us today. I connected with all of them through the owners forums, and they very generously offered their time and their incredible equipment to come support this. So this is a record-setting electric flight trip, where this is the first in the world doing an e-plane trip, recharging it with electric vehicles. So battery here in the Lightning is 131 kilowatt hour battery. The battery in the plane is only 21 kilowatt hours. So we're only pulling about 9 or 10 into the plane, so we're barely even scratching the surface on the truck here. If anyone wants to just see the inside here, there's 2 inverters that power the back plugs back there. They're 180 degrees out of phase of each other, so we can get 240 volt, 30 amp power, which is what we're using to charge up the plane. This is the only EV on the market right now that has that plug. Other EVs have just normal 110 volt outlets, which would mean that it would take us 4 times longer to charge, which would not have made this practical. So this truck specifically allows us to do this trip and take only about an hour charging on the ground at each one of the stops. So truck sends the power from the front, or from the battery there in the control. Back here, this is the 240 volt, 30 amp outlet. This special cable here, this connector to then this side, this was built by the Lafayette College engineering department. These are special switch rated plugs that are very safe, waterproof, and heavy duty. So that then connects us up to this line, which then goes into the truck. Here, everybody watch out for the prop. And we can circle other groups around as people want. So those people, are people familiar with level 2 versus level 3 charging? Yeah. So when you're doing level 2 charging, your EV is switching or converting that AC power to DC power, and that's built into the vehicle. But on a plane, weight is the name of the game. So they made that AC to DC converter external in order to save weight, and that's what this big box right here in the back of the truck is. Originally, the plan was to have it in the back because the plug's back there, but of course it's raining, so we need to keep it dry. So this is pulling that 240 volt, 30 amp AC power, swapping it to 400 volt, 16 amp DC power. Pipistrel, the company that builds this plane, and the charger. They made us custom firmware for this charger so that we could max out the amount of energy that the truck can supply and charge the plane as fast as possible. Other people have done cross-country trips with this plane, but they haven't been able to use more than 16 amps at a time when charging the plane. So it was great that we were able to connect with them. The vice president of the company is actually Lafayette alumni, so that's how our development office connected me with them, and they've been integral to making this project happen. So once the power gets converted to DC, then it pops out this cable here, and this is just for rain protection, but looks like it's stopped raining right now. This plugs into the plane. This isn't J1772, it's a European standard. I don't remember off the top of my head. I could look it up, but that's a European standard, so it's similar to European cars and how they charge. And then the last bit of the equation, the batteries. There's one battery right here in the front, and then there's another one right in the back, so they're for redundancy, so if one of them fails, you can continue your flight. They're each 10.5 kilowatt hours. And then this is the plane here, and it shows us the state of charge while it's charging, and shows us that what the voltage and amperage is at AC and DC. So we can make a line cycle through if people want. Just make sure we're watching. Oh, you got it, Phil. Okay, perfect. So yeah.
So this entire project was Remy's brainchild, and I've been involved with some of Remy's other projects in the past. He's put up swings around campus. He always has these crazy ideas, and they always turn out really well. They always involve a lot of people, and so he was planning all of this for the last 2 months by himself. And so I just sat down to lunch with him one day, and he was telling me about it. I was like, "Do you need any help?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's get some other students involved." So there's now a bunch of us, 9 of us, I believe, on this trip. Trevor and I are running ops, so we've been helping to plan the logistics for every location. We have 5 students from the Lafayette film crew, and then Remy is Remy.
And what is your major at the school?
I'm bioengineering and Chinese, so nothing related to aviation.
Wow.
This whole project has been just sort of jumping into something you know nothing about and learning on the fly as best you can.
And tell me, what is it that will make this a world record?
So there's actually 2 of them. Today, the record is going to be the first electric flight charged via, I believe it's portable power packs is the terminology, basically meaning the electric Ford F-150s. And next weekend at the Lafayette flyover, it's going to be the second world record. It'll be the first electric sports flyover. So Remy's going to be flying over the Lafayette-Lehigh football game, which is the oldest football rivalry in the country.
Wow, that's exciting. Well, Zach, proud of you. Good stuff. Thanks for coming on camera.
Thank you so much.
All right. So for those of you who remember Mike Gilbert, the man, the legend, by the way, your video's done super well with my stats, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Mike, thank you for letting me know about this project, and tell me about your involvement here with this effort.
Yeah, so I came across this project when Jim Farley tweeted it out, and saw it, thought it was really interesting.
Just the CEO of Ford Motor Company.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no big deal. So thought it was super cool. I have a Lightning, as your viewers know, and reached out to Remy, and the plan is to help on the trip home, and wanted to come out here and just kind of see what it was all about before I jumped headfirst into the trip home.
Now, this is not your Lightning today, right?
Though it looks very similar, it is not.
Yeah. Like, wait a minute, who's
Yep.
driving Mike's truck?
Yep.
So what you're going to be is, so once they get over to Easton, they do the flyover at the football game next week.
Yep.
And the flight back, you're going to meet them back here, and they're actually going to rely on your truck.
Yeah, I'll be, I guess, following all the way from Easton back through Hartford.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you're going to drive, you're going to actually follow them back
Yep.
and drive it all the way back as well.
Yep. Stay over Sunday night in Pennsylvania. I think it's a 4:30 call in the morning. And I think he said, if I remember correctly, he was trying to get to Hartford by 6 or so at night.
Okay, good. So, Mike, when you bought your F-150, did you check the box for that special adapter that was developed at Lafayette College? Because I didn't see it on the option list from the manufacturer.
It was not, but I'm looking forward to a little photo cred with it in the back of my truck, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, good to see you, Mike.
Good to see you.
Right.
Thanks.
All right, so what is your name and what is your involvement in this project?
Hi, I'm Image. I am on film crew for this project.
Okay.
Yeah, and I go to the same college as everyone else.
Great. What year are you at Lafayette?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore. Okay. And what's your major?
Film and media studies.
Film and media studies. That's
Yes.
great. What do you think about this project?
I think this is a phenomenal project. This is the first time, I believe that it's pioneering I guess, sustainability for people and what it is, and like for people to get aware about it. I mean, the fact that this entire process is being powered by electric cars, everyone had their doubts about it, but look at the power it's able to do and all the good it's able to do. We're cutting down CO2 emissions, and we're just making a more greener planet. And everyone wants to talk about, oh, you need this or that to fly. No, you don't. All you need is a little bit of electricity.
That's awesome. Well, great. So are you a Pennsylvania girl, or where do you live?
So I hail from the Bronx, New York, and I go to school in Eastern Pennsylvania.
Go Yankees, right?
Yeah, go Yankees.
All right. Thanks for being on camera. Thanks again for everyone joining another episode of Out of Spec. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care now.
Sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate it.